Good morning students, this is Junita Mukherjee from SS Public School. Today we will start this particular chapter, first chapter of class 11. So welcome to this particular class of physics of class 11. So very first chapter is about the physical world. So in this particular physical world we will learn what is physics and we will learn its various parts. What is mean by the physical world, that is physics and another things related to this particular physical world. So let us see what is the word physical come from. Physical means physique or physics, that is what we call the physics of a particular matter or a particular substance or a material it is. Okay, so physics is a world of things or the matter related to that whole world. That is what we call the physics itself. So physical things related to the whole world is what we call the physical world, and that is what comprises this physics itself. Now this is a very scientific word, and this is what we have, the systematic arrangement of different types of substances in the natural phenomena. We are going to know about its natural science related to that reference of physics. We need to know its unification and reduction, two principles related to this particular physics and unification and reduction. What do you mean by unification and what we called as reduction? Unification means combination of a thing. Unification, uni means united and fication, you know it very well. So unification of a substance means combination of a substance, and reduction means the particular substance is being reducted or being divided into two parts or various parts, how it is being divided or how it has been turned out. So scope and excitement of physics. Next topic is scope and excitement of physics. How the scope and what we call the excitement of physics. Scope means there are various scopes of physics in our whole world. Okay, in any particular subject related to the higher section, just after the 10th subject, 10th level in the science stream, related to that chemistry or maybe related to the biology, the science is being in a broad level. So when we are talking about a particular thing, suppose in a biology lab, okay, we are talking about the instruments. Okay, the instruments, when we are talking about it needs a physical quantity for knowing this, knowing about the instrument, how much the length of the scissors, how much is the length of tongs, and all these are the physical measurements which are need to be taken in the biology lab. Okay, and how much the quantity is, suppose if we are dissecting a particular frog or a container or any kind of fish, we need to know the length of the particular fish or length of the size of this particular frog. Okay, and we need to know about the intestine, what is the size of the intestine and how long the frog is. To know about the various aspects of this particular thing, physics is very much needed. Now in comparison to that of another part, we are taking about the chemistry part. Okay, so we are taking the how much quantity of this particular thing, that is chemicals, we need to know, go for the such and such experiment. Suppose when we are going for the line test or when we are going for the that is a test of any particular substance, suppose glucose or some fructose or something like that, we need to know how much quantity we have taken in that particular test tube to test it, whether it is a glucose or in fructose or lactose or aspirin or something like that. So physics is very much needed in the science stream as it related to it. Apart from it, it is also related to the other science as well, that is history, that is related to the different ancient cultures, how they are using their instruments, what are the different types of instrument in the ancient culture. So how they are using their instrument, what is that percentage of instruments they are using, what is the ratio of the human and the number of instruments related to that. So there are many scopes of physics. And the excitement of physics, excitement means when we got excited excitement of the physics. Means what all categories are related to this particular substances. When we do any kind of experiment related to that of the physics, we need to grow our excitement in the physics, and that is what we call the excitement of the physics related to that. So when we are doing such an experiment related to that of the prism, okay, when the light of the prism passes from one angle to the another angle, we got the angle of prism here in the when we are putting an angle A related to that, and what we when we put the pins on the other side, we are obviously getting the pins in the straight line. That is what we call the excitement of this physics, or the what we call the scopes of the physics itself. Now next is hypothesis, axioms and models. Hypothesis means some kind of a hypothesis we need to make down our particular thing to happen in a in an environment. Hypothesis means this will happen, if this is happening, this is going to happen, this will going to happen. For example, when we are taking a glass slab experiment, okay, in a glass slab experiment, what is there? There is a refraction of a process going on in the glass slab. When we are moving from the rarer to the denser medium, how long it will bend the light rays from rarer to denser, and then from denser to the rarer medium. It is really an hypothesis related to that. Suppose the hypothesis we have taken, it is bending to 15 degree or 60 degree. It may contradict or it may be the same thing. That is what we call the hypothesis. Axioms and principles. Axioms and models means, axioms mean necessarily it will be bending from this particular angle to this particular angle, and the models related to it, that means we will draw or sketch that particular part of the graph, that particular what we call the glass slab or maybe the prism. So that is a model. Now physical technology and society. Physical technology and society means that the physical world related to that of the technologies and related to that of the society, that is some of the persons who already made the discovery, that is Galileo, Newton, we have Blaise Pascal, we have Albert Einstein, J.J. Thomson. So many contributions they have given for our society and the country they belong to. These are what we call the technologies and the society related to that of the physics. Now the fundamental forces of nature. The fundamental forces of nature means it can be a particular topic which is what we call in which stream we are going in that particular nature. That is, it may be a nuclear reactor, okay, about the nuclear fission and fusion related to that. It can be a computers related topic, that is digital logics and lasers, that is light amplified by the simulated emission of radiation. It can be an aeroplane related to the Bernoulli's principle of fluid dynamics. It can be a sonar, reflection of ultrasonic waves, and many more things it can be there. Now the gravitational force related to that, electromagnetic force, strong nuclear force, weak nuclear force, and towards the unification of the forces, which I am going to study just after that. We will continue to do it. Now the fundamental forces of nature. Electromagnetic forces, fundamental forces you have already studied in the previous chapter, and we will just continue with that here. That is fundamental of forces. First one is gravitational force. You know about the gravitational force. What is the gravitational force? Of course, G is the gravitational force, that is small g, that is gravity. And if you are talking about the universal gravitational force, that is capital G, that is differ from that of both the values are different. That is 9.8 meter per second is this value of the small g, and 6.023 into 10 power minus 23, something like that is there in the capital G. Let me check once the value of capital G. The value of the capital G will be just like this. The value of the capital G is 2.0 is 6.7 into 10 power minus 11 Newton meter square kg raised to minus 2. So this is what we have the value of the capital, that is 6.023, or I was telling that is totally wrong. This is 6.7 to 10 power minus 11 Newton meter square kg raised to minus 2. This is what we have the value of the capital G here. Now the fundamental forces in nature, we have the second topic as electromagnetic forces. Electromagnetic forces are the forces which are there in the universe, and which are between the force between the charged particle, that is what we call the electromagnetic forces, and it may be there in the gravity is always attractive, that is tension and other thermal thing and other properties as well. There underlines the magnetic forces like tension, friction, normal friction, spring forces, etc. Gravity is always active, while electromagnetic forces can be attractive or repulsive. Electromagnetic forces can be done by taking the magnets into action. By taking the magnet near the particular substance, we can generate the electromagnetic force related to that particular topic. So electromagnetic force is the force between the charged particle, or you can say that is electromagnetic induction. You have already read in the previous topics. And electromagnetic force can be generated by the method of using a magnet related to that of the electric field. Okay, so we can generate this particular electromagnetic force in the magnet by making it permanent or temporary. Okay, now strong nuclear forces. Strong nuclear forces are related to that of the electric repulsion between the protons, and some of the attraction force, and some attractive force in nuclear will be unstable due to the electric repulsion between the protons, and the attractive force cannot be gravitational, since force of gravity is negligible compared to that of the electric forces. So a new basic force must be invoked, and the strong nuclear force is stronger to all the fundamental forces, that is about 100 times the electromagnetic force is strength. And here it is the charge independent and act equally between a proton and a proton and a neutron and a neutron and a proton and a neutron itself. So strong electromagnetic nuclear forces are there between proton, neutron, and there will be proton and neutron between that. The range is extremely small, as about nuclear dimension 10 to the power minus 15 mm, and is responsible for the stability of the nuclei and the electron. It must be noted does the experience this forces. Now weak nuclear forces are the forces between the beta decay, that is emit the electrons, emitting of electrons, and thus the uncharged particle called the neutrino. The weak nuclear force is not as weak as the gravitational force, but much weaker than the strong nuclear forces and the electromagnetic forces. The range of weak nuclear force is exceeding smaller in order to the 10 power minus 16 m, and this is how this particular nuclear thing is there. Like the gravitational forces, the electromagnetic forces also have large distance, and they does not need any intervening medium for this. So we have the electromagnetic force of the two proton given by the 10 to the power 36 times the gravitational force between them. So electromagnetic force of the two proton is given by 10 to the power minus 30 to the power plus 36, not minus 36, towards the unification of force. Now the unification of the force means that the combination of the forces, the Newton's unified terrestrial and celestial domains under a common law of gravitation that is experiencing, developed by Oersted and Faraday, shows the electrical and magnetic phenomenon in general. Means combining, I have already told, means unification means united. Unitedly a particular law has been done for particular things to be get united. The experimental discovery of the Oersted and the Faraday shows that the electric and the magnetic phenomena are in the general inseparable, and the Maxwell's unified electromagnetism and optics with the discovery that light is in the electromagnetic wave. Einstein attempted to unify gravity and electromagnetism but could not succeed in the venture. But it did not deter physicists from jealously pursuing the goal of unification of the forces. Here, now the law of friction of physical law, the nature of the physical law. Nature of the physical law can be defined by the type of the things which we are taking. Okay, suppose there is a gravitational law or a gravitational force, or what we call gravity. Gravity is related to the every object in the universe, and every object related to that in the earth itself, gravity. So gravity is something that is pulling off a substance, pulling off that earth towards its core. That is what we call the gravity, and the gravitational force is there in the universe, everywhere in the space, in the earth, in other planets as well. So that is what we have here for the nature of physical forces, and this is the reason why we have E is equals to mc square, where E is equal to the energy which is liberated in the universe as a unification of the forces in one direction, and also the breaking down of the substance or the energy into the various parts as well. So it is not yet been defined that E is equals to mc square in various objects, but in some object it has been divided into that particular thing. That is, if we take a case of a chemical reaction, okay, that is H plus Cl, okay, H plus Cl gives HCl. That is what we call the E is equals to mc square. That is, energy is being transferred. Left hand side is equal to the right hand side, and thus it is being divided, and is equal to E equal to mc square directly. We can have this particular formula related to that in the chemistry, and many more physical objects we have also related to this particular topic, which is very much important to study. And thus your this chapter that is being finished by me, and summary is there. You need to know about the summary. Physics deals with the study of the basic law of nature and the manifestation of the different phenomena. The basic law of physics are universal and applied in widely different contents and conditions as well. So this is how this particular chapter is going to end, and I hope so there is no doubt related to that. If you have any doubt, you comment in the comment section below, and if you have understood, then also it's okay, and please give a message if you have any doubt related to this particular topic. So looking forward in the second chapter which we are going to start really this particular second chapter, which is about units and measurements, in which we will learn about the measurements which we are taking in the physics, what basis we are taking, what are the errors, what are the correction needed for that particular measurements that we need to discuss it at. So see you soon in that particular topic. Rest is thank you, and please comment in the comment section if you have any doubt. Thank you.